2020 is over, at least the fight season of it is. It's been a great year for fights, even though it's been a terrible year for pretty much everything else. But as fight fans, we've been privileged. Of course, it's the end of the year. All the fights are done. It's time for the award seasons. And this video is my vote for 2020 Fighter of the Year. Let's go over the rules first. Rule number 1, you must have fought at least twice, but more fights are always impressive. Number 2, no losses. Number 3, made a considerable leap in rankings. Number 4, a considerable leap in your career. Number 5, skid marks lose points. They're not going to disqualify you, but these little skid marks never look good. All right, let's start with the champs. There are 12 weight divisions, 11 champions in all because of Amanda Nunes being the double champ. Every division's title was defended at least once this year, except for the women's bantamweight title, which is held by the double champ Amanda Nunes, who did defend her other belt, so I guess we'll give it a pass. Also, every division right now has a bona fide champion. No vacancies, no interims. At the lightweight division, there is a bit of a question with the Khabib situation, but nevertheless, there is a current champ in every division. That's pretty cool. And as mentioned, every one of them fought at least once, but you got to fight at least twice to qualify for this list, and only 4 of them fought twice or more, so let's get rid of the other 7 right off the bat. Now, Adesanya handled business with Costa like a pimp, but he did have that stinker with Yoel Romero earlier this year. As awesome as Adesanya is, and as much as I love him, this isn't his year. Valentina looked great against Chookagian earlier this year, but had trouble with Jennifer Maia last month in a fight that was much closer than expected. So this dominant champ, she's not going to get my vote either. Figueiredo and Blachowicz both claimed their titles this year and showcased some real dominance. Blachowicz had 2 highlight reel KOs in as many fights, and Figgy, he fought in 4 title fights and didn't lose any, so they'll both get my nominations. As for other fighters on the roster, I'm going to nominate Kevin Holland and Khamzat Chimaev, and I'm going to give an honorable mention to Gilbert Burns. So Burns does not get a nomination from me, but he almost did. Gilbert fought twice this year, KOing Damian Maia back in March and then dominating Tyron Woodley in May. So he satisfies that rule. He didn't have any losses or skids. He certainly climbed the rankings, but that shot to really better his career, well, he watched it slip through his fingers twice. COVID got its nasty little hands around the title bout in July, which forced Gilbert to pull out. And Usman pulled out of their December title fight because he underestimated Masvidal's star power, and now he's rich. I think Gilbert has a pretty good shot at dethroning Usman, and had that happened a few weeks ago, he may be sitting at the top of this list now, but that fight didn't happen, and he's only an honorable mention this year, but he's poised for a really big 2021. So let's take a look at Khamzat Chimaev. Khamzat's the real hype train to come out of 2020. He's certainly not as accredited as the champions. He may not be as accredited as Kevin Holland or Gilbert Burns, but the guy has been very exciting and he set the MMA world on fire. He has 3 fights in 2020, really in only half of 2020, so he satisfies that rule. He has no losses, no personal skid marks. And he certainly climbed the rankings and bettered his career. He fits all those criteria. He's kind of developed a personality and a gimmick, and people are really buying into it. I love Khamzat Chimaev. I can't get enough, and I haven't gotten enough. His fight with Leon Edwards, of course, it didn't happen this month. If it had happened, then who knows where Khamzat would be right now. He might be in the top 5. He may have been beaten and forgotten about. He gets my nomination for Fighter of the Year, but he's not going to get my actual vote because there's another category of awards called, I think, Breakout Fighter of the Year, and that has got Khamzat all over it. I'm excited about the fight with Leon Edwards. Leon needs an opponent, and Khamzat needs an opponent that's top 10. It's going to be a great one. Of course, it's been postponed to 2021, which is looking like it's going to be another great year for fights, and Khamzat's going to have a good one. Next up is Jan Blachowicz, who wins the vacant light heavyweight title belt this year. one of only a few people to hold it over the past 10 years. Jan is fairly old to be getting the belt for the first time in his career. He started out his UFC career a little slow, but he's definitely picked it up since then. He's had 2 fights this year, the first one where he KO'd Corey Anderson in a rematch where Jan had actually lost many years prior, so that's always a little bit sweeter. He sent Corey packing on his way to Bellator, and then he gets a fight against Dominic Reyes, who's already parading around as the new champion. Jan beats him in a pretty dominating fashion. He gets the belt, takes it back to Poland. I believe he's the 2nd champion from this country, and they love him over there. It's been a very big year for Jan. I'm very happy for him. I love the guy, and this may be an unpopular thing to say, but he is still in that light heavyweight shadow of Jon Jones. He didn't win it from Jon, he just got it when Jon left. Not to take anything away from Jan, it's definitely been a big year for him, but there is still that one looming contributor to say maybe he's not the best light heavyweight in the world. Maybe we'll find out in 2021. He's going to get my nomination. He's not going to get my vote, but he is going to get my money next time he fights for a pay-per-view. Jan Blachowicz, everybody. Next up is flyweight champ Deiveson Figueiredo, or as I like to call him, Figgy Smalls. Figgy has more or less saved the flyweight division. It wasn't very long ago that people were wondering if it was going to stick around for much longer. Deiveson shows up, and he proves to us all that it can be pretty amazing. And just over the course of the last couple of weeks, it seems as though we've seen several contenders emerge, and we've still got Cody Garbrandt sitting on the sidelines. So all of a sudden, this division looks pretty exciting and as ripe as it ever has, and it seems to pretty much be mostly Deiveson Figueiredo. Figgy is a weird case, though. He's fought 4 times this year, and he hasn't lost them, but he hasn't won all of them either. We start the year off with a vacant championship fight against Joseph Benavidez where he misses weight and disqualifies himself from winning that belt. Then there's that headbutt that may or may not have caused the knockout, but he did beat Benavidez pretty good in that first fight. Second fight, a rematch with Benavidez where he beats him even worse than he did in the first one. Takes on Alex Perez to defend the belt for the first time and looks phenomenal, and it's looking like 2020 is going to be Figueiredo's year, right? We can kind of forgive him for that missed weight and headbutt earlier on. Then he makes that incredible 3-week turnaround. He takes on Brandon Moreno, and I'm thinking to myself, he's going to kill this guy. I think a lot of people were kind of thinking that. It turned out to be an amazing fight, one that I think Figueiredo lost. It was a very close fight, and I think he may have lost the fight straight up. But when you factor in that he did lose a point, I don't see any way that Moreno didn't at least win on 2 judges' scorecard. Now, you know me. I think he got to take the belts. And so I'm not going to sit here and complain about it and argue that and say it was a robbery. But as far as Fighter of the Year is concerned, he didn't lose. He did fight more than twice. He definitely bettered his career and the career of all the other flyweights around him. He hits all those things, but I do think that he's just got a few too many skid marks. Missed weight, potential headbutt. You know what? I'm not going to hold the headbutt against him. He missed weight, and he got a draw right there at the end, even though it was after that historic 3-week turnaround. Maybe he should win. He is the champion after all, but he's not going to get my vote. He is, however, a very close second. Deiveson Figueiredo. So that means that my vote for the 2020 Fighter of the Year goes to my dude, Kevin Holland. Kevin has been on a historic streak, going 5-0 in 2020, winning 4 of those by knockout and getting 3 Performance of the Night bonuses along the way. I've been following Kevin since his contender days. It's roughly half of his career. But he started this year as a relative unknown. After those 5 fights, taking every opportunity that he could, just popping up seemingly every other weekend, fight fans all around the world now know who Kevin Holland is. He definitely fought more than twice. He didn't lose. Everybody around the world knows who he is, so his career is definitely in a much better place. He finishes 2020 at number 10, cracking the top 10, so he's definitely climbed the rankings as well. I really like Kevin Holland. I think his personality is great and easy to follow, and he's got all the skills to be amazing. Starts as a relative unknown, makes a hell of a lot of money going 5-0, cracks the top 10. and gets awarded his Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu black belt. It's been a hell of a year for Kevin Holland, and he may just continue that rise. Maybe we'll see him get some UFC gold next year. But I tip my hat to you, sir. Kevin Holland, you are my 2020 Fighter of the Year. Fight season is over, Christmas is over. The only thing to do now is look forward to next year. It's been a great year of fights, and next year promises to be just as good. As you can tell, my theme music's playing, so I'm going to wrap it up pretty quick. But next year, we're going to continue to see predictions. I'm going to change my style for those prediction vids just a touch. I'm going to continue with these I Just Want to Talk videos, and my daughter says she wants to show up in a few of these too, so maybe we'll get a couple of surprise guest vids in there as well. Until then, Happy New Year. It has been a rough one, but it's in the rear view now. Let's just stay strong, stay united, and stay optimistic, and we're going to get it. Till next time.